So special thanks, guys, for everybody coming out. I know it's a bit late. I'll try to keep it entertaining and maybe a little fast-paced. I just moved 3 videos over that I just got at the last minute straight from Nigeria. The guys recorded some little greetings for you, so we'll mix that in as appropriate. I have not watched them, so it's unedited, like live. I'm a mobile trainer. I work for a company called Futurice and flew over here from Helsinki to tell you a bit about what's going on in Africa, of all places. Because there's some very cool app innovations there, and it's a very different market. And everybody talks about going global and let's be glocal, and they come up with silly terms. But what's actually happening on the ground in a place, in this case, Nigeria? And it's pretty cool. They're doing some really neat things, and they're having fun. So, if this beeper works, I live here. I'm originally from the States, but I've been there so long I've lost my accent, or gained another one. This is my company, best place to work in Europe. It's official now. The place where we were is Lagos, here in Nigeria, and in case you've forgotten your geography, that's hot. This is what it looks like on the street. This is what is the easy story to report about Nigeria. Crazy traffic. Remember these yellow vans? They're not all yellow. It's called a Danfo, but it's going to show up in one of the apps later on. These things are nuts. So they have a driver who drives like a rally driver, and they have a hustler who hangs out the window on the side or out the open door and gets people on and off the bus. It's very free market. They compete like physically for customers as they go along. I'm sorry, I'm starting to lose my voice. I hope I can make it through this session. But the reason Nigeria is interesting above most of the other countries in Africa is it's huge. It is the biggest market in Africa. It's the 7th most populous country in the world. So after you get over America and China and the usual suspects, Nigeria is the next one that you see on the list. So it's actually a very important market and very dynamic. They love their phones. A lot of them, you see them carrying around 2 phones. But it's a little bit different, and we'll try to focus. And as a game, I'm going to show you 9 different applications built by some of my students there in Nigeria. Thanks, Michael. And I'd like you to tell me what you think is slightly different about the app as it's built for Nigeria versus what you would expect to see here in the States. I'd like to give a special thanks to our sponsors, Nokia, who have sent me to Nigeria and given me that chance to really make a difference for these developers. Many years ago, I was actually born in Africa, and it's very nice to go back and be able to use my professional skills to help people. And I think you'll see that we probably have helped people. 4 of these companies have gotten venture funding after this program. Some of the companies who have been through training like this are millionaires in their local currency. So they are successes. We are making a difference in the work that we do to help these young companies make cool mobile apps. So Nokia's partner for this in Nigeria is the Co-Creation Hub. This is a social entrepreneurship venture that brings a lot of cool companies together. These are the 2 guys behind it. Tunji quit his job because he wanted to make a difference and started this with some partners. Temu badgered Nokia to pay for it, along with some other sponsors that they have there. And what you see here is the rooftop of the building where they have the Co-Creation Hub. It really is in downtown Lagos. There are people all around on the streets. This is not some isolated ivory tower thing. We're going into the middle of Lagos to help people make cool things. This is a little bit strange picture. Well, the guy on the right with the face on the left is a UX designer who went with me. So we're not only teaching mobile development, but we're teaching the entire process of how to make a good startup company. I've been an entrepreneur for 10 years. I understand something about this. And with Mikko's help, we teach them UX, we teach them the process of being agile, and we teach them the technology in a very intensive way. And then we follow up after the training on-site with remote Skype help. Our own company has a notion that people should be happy and enjoy what they're doing, and we try to transfer that. The types of phones that we're dealing with, you may not be familiar with. Some of them have dual SIM. This is important for people to save money. They can trade around, they can have a spare SIM, so they're always looking for the best deal. This phone costs something on the order of $70, $80. It's not expensive, but it's a full touch device, and it can run apps, and it can run them wicked fast, in some cases faster than a high-end Android device. The main limitation of this phone is it doesn't have a lot of RAM. So you're working in a small memory space. It's a real man's sport to make good apps on this, but I love it. And in Nigeria, they have some real men. This is an Asha 306, the same phone, but instead of dual SIM, it's got Wi-Fi. The 311, here we're getting to the high end, $100, maybe $110. And this has 5-point capacitive multi-touch. It has accelerometers. It's a very nice phone for not much money. Now, why are these guys developing for Nokia Series 40? You guys aren't developing for Nokia Series 40, right? They don't even sell that phone here. You want the latest, coolest Android. I've got a nice Windows phone. Oops, that's not running Java. Well, it's a cousin of Java. But yeah, they can't see me, so they don't know what phone that was. The point is, look at that 675 million phones in active use. Nokia doesn't talk about this. I don't know why, but I don't work for Nokia. So I'm going to say what I think. That is roughly double the number of phones in active use of, you name it, Android.
What is that? Like a home, I'm from Iceland.
Okay.
Even though we are huge in iPhone, Android, but still 70% of the market is Nokia.
Yeah.
All Nokia phones, Series 40, Series 60. So why aren't we developing them as well? You know, that's a huge market.
Well, the market in Iceland is different because you guys know what a drinking phone is, right? That's the cheap Series 40 you take with you, so when you fall down in the snow, you know, you don't break your more expensive device. There are differences. We do develop those apps, and you get all of the big name apps there. The App Store is not as big in developed world because a lot of the designers are here. One of the problems the Nigerians have is there aren't any design schools. There are no designers. They have to hire, some of them are hiring a designer out of the UK, or they're asking us for quotes. And I'm like, you don't want to pay our rates. It's crazy. Like we are an expensive consultancy that is hired by operators and such. So I refuse to take their money. We try to help them and then get them in contact with a long-term support that will do the design. The Nokia store has a large number of downloads per day, but look at the number of items in the store. I don't know why they brag how many items are in Android store or iPhone store, because I want to go to the opposite. I want to go to the undiscovered country. And that's what I think this is. These guys are very motivated. I don't have to tell them this. They know it. They see it on the street. We give them the numbers and they're like, yeah, let's go. But it is difficult to make a nice UI on this phone relative to, for example, code behind metaphor that you have with XML and other things. You don't have that here. You need to write it as procedural, like painting on a canvas, or you can use the relatively easy form-based stuff. We show you that in some of the other sessions. But there's a lot of opportunity. These are the guys. Really good. I have to say, this is one of the best groups I'd ever trained. I was stunned. Some of them, like, you walk up to the guy and he's like, tell him I'm from Helsinki. He's like, oh yeah, I've been there a few times. And they've been living in the UK, they've been training in other places. Many of them go back, and some of them are self-educated there, but they all have a real desire to do something for Nigeria and for themselves. They're nationalistic and proud, and they want to make a difference. This is the co-creation hub that Tunji and his partners have put together. It's a very nice space, the 2 top floors of a small tower, and one of their sponsors gave them internet. But they had to build a tower to get a microwave transceiver on the roof to get really high bandwidth internet. And that's how they sucked the guys in, because it's a nice place to go. It's air conditioned, lots of open space, trainings like this for free. And from this collection of good, they can select the great. And those are the ones which it's my privilege to work with. These are the applications that we have to talk about. I have some videos from some of them. Let's look at the first one, and then we'll switch over and watch a little video so you can meet the guys in the videos. I only have 3 videos. Danfo is the name for this minibus, the local transport. The guys were really excited about this game because this is version 2. Version 1 was a huge hit. And you should have seen how crazy the guys, they were laughing and having fun because this is a cool game. It's like a comedian who you know is funny walks into the room, because everybody loves these things. They've got the music pumping and the guys yelling, and they're enjoying life. And this is part of it, playing the game, because you have to pick up passengers and weave through traffic and do all the crazy stuff that a Danfo driver does. Together with Nokia, they ran some contests giving away cash. They've got a huge number of downloads. Bio's a great guy. It's really a pleasure to work with companies like this. MyCache. MyCache is a cache management system. But actually first, let's go back. What's different about Danfo? If you've got great designers here, why can't you make this game in San Francisco? That's really the thing I'd like you to think about. What's different? Yeah. I didn't know what a Danfo was. I actually wrote in one it's called a Matutu in Nairobi. But it's dangerous, yeah. It's wild. But let's look at MyCache, and then we'll watch some videos. So MyCache, and ask yourself, what is different here? Designing a mobile app and building it for the Nigerian market versus what you do here. This is a cash management application. So you're going around, you want to keep track of your money, you type it in right away. and you can get all of your accounts. They're going to link it for e-payments and other things, but right now it's a cash management application. Really skilled guys again, very motivated, putting together an application that looks and runs well. One of my beliefs as a developer who does a lot of front-end development is I'm obsessed with performance. So an app like this, if it's going to be in your pocket, it really needs to start instantly. And this is a good example. You can click the button and it fires up faster than on an Android or an iPhone. And you can get in there, do your stuff, and get out. So it's very pain-free to run an app like this on these phones. But what's different? Why wouldn't you design this app this way for San Francisco audience? Any thoughts?
No more cash in America.
No more cash in America. That's a good answer. This is a cash-based society. So they're not getting their financial history from a credit card receipt at the end of the month. A lot of people on the street, they may have a nice phone or a decent, like, low-end phone, but they don't necessarily have a bank account. So this is actually quite important. They're living in a different frame of reference, a different environment. And so it's important to have the skilled local developers have access to the best techniques and technologies so that they can make good apps for that market. Let's see if we can get some video here. So this is my cache. It's just a quick screencast. You can see one of the earlier pre-release versions of the app as he's going through and using it. This phone is an emulator for the Nokia's X302, which is a touch-and-type device. So this is 2 generations old. Touchscreen at the top, multi-tap keyboard at the bottom. These devices are still sold and not so different from the newest devices. There are a lot of new APIs that you can get since then. But the look and feel of the UI tends to be a bit different on this phone. Gives you some idea. Let's see.
Craig, and I'm team lead at FICO. 6 months ago, the Co-Creation Hub organized the 48-hour event, Tech in Education. The whole focus of Tech in Education was to see how we could use technology to solve some of the problems in the Nigerian education sector. That weekend, Team FICO was formed. We went ahead to win first place. In 2011, there was an estimated 1.5 million candidates that sat for the WAEC SSC exams. Information Nigeria has it that 61% of these failed maths, while 44% failed English. The NECO exams for that year were no better. There was a 90% failure rate in the November-December SSE exams. These are not just empty statistics. These are the doctors, lawyers, bankers, engineers, and even the teachers of the near future. The truth is, annual mass failure is no longer news in the country, but something has to be done about it. Some of the contributing factors include non-personalized learning. If you notice, there is an increase globally in the number of self-paced online learning solutions because we learn not only in different ways, but at different rates. Infrastructure is inadequate, especially in public schools. Schools exist without doors, classrooms are without doors, without windows, sometimes even without roofs. And it's amazing that in the 21st century, certain schools exist without teachers for key subjects such as maths, English, physics, government, geography. Finally, of course, all these factors coupled together, motivation is low on the part of the student as well as the teacher. Our solution, Efiko, is a social mobile quiz platform designed to enhance learning through self-assessment. What Efiko seeks to do is to make students responsible for their learning and to reward students who perform highly on the platform. Efiko is currently targeted at students in the senior secondary school. As such, content is not only tied to the National Senior Secondary School curriculum, but is provided by reputable Nigerian publishers. Now, some of the key features on Efiko are topical-based learning. A typical scenario is this. Chinedu is an SS1 student in Lagos Grammar School. He gets home from school where he was taught hydrocarbons in chemistry. He launches the Efiko app, takes a quiz, sees his score, gets his rank, and then challenges his friends Bello and Shegun. Another key feature is standardized content. This is especially important for students in schools where there's a shortage of teachers. Because the content on Efiko is gotten from reputable Nigerian publishers, it means that no matter the school you are, no matter the challenge in that school, you are given a level playing field to excel with Efiko. Efiko also features social integration, so friends can challenge their friends on social media, they can share their scores. Efiko also features instant scoring, ranking with a leaderboard. This is important because students are challenged positively when they see their scores in relation to that of their peers. We also have geographical mapping. This is important so that we know the students who are excelling in certain areas and the students who need help in other areas. Efiko will be available freely for download on the Nokia S40 platform as well as other Java low-end phones. There's also an Android version. Why Android, you might ask? Samsung and Etisalat both released two entry-level smartphones that you can purchase for less than 19,000 naira. And then we have a mobile web version for other platforms not currently supported on the Efiko platform. Now, the Efiko team has achieved some level of success. We won the Internet for Jobs competition organized by the Nigeria Internet Group, as well as we were also one of the first round winners of the Android Africa Challenge. Currently, the team is working towards completing development of all platforms and releasing the product to the market. On behalf of Team Efiko, I say thank you for watching.
I asked them to be brief, but they have a lot to say, and Efiko is one of the cases we'll talk about next. They have a very interesting product. We have a bit shorter one here.
My name is Ajibola Ayedogun. I'm a mobile developer. I develop on J2ME, BlackBerry, and also Android. I developed an application called My Cash, which is an expense tracking application. And the main reason, was to help people manage their expenses. There are a lot of solutions available for Android, BlackBerry, iPhone, but for J2M it has actually been neglected for a couple of years, mainly because a lot of developers have moved on to other platforms. So the goal was actually to create a really rich expense tracking experience on low-end devices. Low-end devices are still very much predominant here in Africa, and that was the main goal. Currently, the expense tracking application has gotten over 20,000 downloads, and we were named the first prize for the Nokia Create for Millions in West Africa. We've also developed the expense tracking application to have some advanced features like snapping of expense receipts, and there's also a deep search functionality. We've tried to keep it to a minimal, to not to overbloat the application with too many unnecessary things, and also listen for user feedback on the things that they actually want, especially in the expense application. Thank you very much.
I asked them to keep it short and informal. And those were just sort of last minute, if they could show up and just sort of quickly introduce themselves. That's the style that we wanted. The guy is totally brilliant. We went through some brainstorming sessions and he just came up with bang, 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 things that made my head spin. Really, really nice creative talent. So let's see what happened to our PowerPoint there. If I can do this without falling. So MyCache has a high retention rate, and some of these teams are one person, some of them are 4 or 6 people. So they tend to be pretty small, focused startups at the stage that we're going through and training them. And then we follow them through. Ticket Mobile is what it sounds like, mobile ticketing solution. Again, ask yourself, what's different? This is not the BART. You've got a very different public infrastructure for transportation, a much more complicated problem, and it's a good example of where mobile can really make a difference in people's lives and add some structure, add some modern infrastructure to how you go about purchasing and spending the ticket directly from your phone and planning the trip. So very nice services that are coming to people on these devices. The users can buy a ticket, they can plan everything out, they can see what the latest changes are, and they're working to get more and more vendors involved in the process. Here's some screenshots that give you an idea. Again, a designer in Finland wouldn't choose this color scheme. Finns like their blue and white Nokia logo. In Africa, they like it bright. It's important that they have more design skills there. That's one of the things we're hoping to help them with going forward. They're looking to get more users and partners and sell a lot more tickets. So they're still in the growth ramp-up phase. Ningo Mobile is a mobile history quiz. So in a country where the education system is up and down, people love to know their history. They love to know their local history. And they love to talk about things and get quizzed on them, and that's what this is tapping into. It's a edutainment type of game. Victor's a really nice guy. The app you can see here has different sections, and you can go through and choose different elements and find out more about your own country at the same time that you're being entertained. So it's a different format from a traditional book about history. It's much more interactive. The history quiz game, looking to expand the team and add the app to some of the nearby countries. So it's a concept that can be replicated as they go forward. Efiko, you saw the video where she was discussing. This is also a mobile quiz platform, but this is aimed at school children. So when you go home, you might not have a computer at home, but you may well have a Nokia phone, and you will have assignments that you can do, quizzes and reviews, and you can get instant feedback on that. They have a pretty big team. Actually, the team was formed, Efiko means bookworms in the local language, so this is a sort of a nickname. So for people who like to do bookwormy things, they can play around and do scoring and again learn. Pretty big team. I believe that they actually came together. Some of these teams have been assembled around the CC hub, so they might have met each other, they might have been involved in a contest or something that's going on there. Yeah. Tech Ed Hackathon. And they won. And they moved forward from there. So it really is forming and creating new businesses. They have a variety of clients. They also have mobile web. And here's some screenshots showing you the different areas. Obviously, getting a large amount of content is a challenge. It takes some time. But it's a nice idea. And they're doing pilots and going on with that. 9 Reality is not educational. This is pure entertainment. They have partnerships with various local TV shows, and if you love to talk about your latest reality TV show, this is a place where you can do it. Because if you're not going to go into a website and chat about that show or go into Facebook, you can do it here more effectively. You can get updates and meet other people who have a common interest in that space. So, Nigerian Idol, Big Brother, Tinsel, Dancehall, these are the types of local content shows that they're going after. Again, think to yourself, the design is different. The context of use is different. Just like building an app for a PC and building it for a phone is different, building it for a phone in the US and building it for a phone in Nigeria takes a different mindset. And here's a typical user. A lot of the mobile phone growth in Nigeria and other developing countries is with young people. There are a lot of young people, they want the cool stuff. They don't necessarily have the money for an iPhone or an Android. Or they might have the money for a low-end Android, but then they have to choose, do they want a phone that lasts 3-4 days on a charge or a phone that lasts half a day? They're practical factors, quality of build, voice quality. But getting the good apps, Android has more apps. So getting the good apps is what we're focused on. Again, I really enjoyed working with these guys. I look forward to seeing them. I'll be going back again in a few weeks. I was going to go back immediately after Java 1, so I was going to be on a plane for 4 days straight. But fortunately, it's been delayed a little bit. Track list. This is essentially Amazon for Nigeria. So Emotu has the idea of giving a website and associated web service that you can access from your phone that helps you buy things, find things, and making it very easy for any local shop to put their inventory on the net, on the mobile net, because that's the primary mechanism. He has a nice website, very attractive, well designed, and adding more and more shops all the time, and putting this same package on the phones is the challenge. Making it easy and compelling so that the store across the street from you can have this type of interface on the phone from the guy down the street. And then you know where to go, you can comparison shop, you get more efficient infrastructure. Very important developments. So these are very concrete ways that, I'm not sure how that should be pronounced, wasaris. Very important developments in terms of helping people's lives. When Nokia talks about connecting people, this is the concrete result, the Nokia Growth Academy. Here, Wasaris is about job search, helping people find jobs. So you put your data in, you get a push SMS notification, and the app wakes up when there's a job that matches your criteria, no matter where you are. One of the differences in Africa is that's the best way to do push. It works even if you don't have mobile data in that location. It is a nice concept, and I hope that they can help a lot of people get jobs. I'd like to know what you guys think. Did you learn anything about what it's like to be in Nigeria building mobile apps? Does it give you a flavor to actually see some of the apps, to meet some of the people? Because that's kind of rare in my experience. You hear about people buying phones in Africa or China or India, but you don't really get to experience it. And thank you. I'd like to take some questions, and the more questions you ask, the more likely you are to walk away with a nice toy. So please fire away.
Do I get to ask?
No. Everybody except Michael. Yes?
So how much is the Nigerian or these African governments actually investing into these mobile technologies to make it better leverage on?
Nothing. So it's up to individuals like Tunji, excuse me, like Tunji, who want to make a difference. The issue with Nigeria is a little bit special. They discovered oil, and whereas they used to be one of the breadbaskets of Africa, a lot of farming, a lot of industry, as soon as the oil was discovered, all the government guys sort of dropped their shovels and went and just started arguing over who gets the money and how it's divided. So the infrastructure is horrible. The rolling blackouts in Lagos are a daily occurrence. There's not enough electricity to light up the whole town of, 7 million people. Nobody knows exactly, 7 to 9 million, something like this. So investing in mobile infrastructure is pretty far down the list of needs. They need running water, so you don't need to have a water tower on top of every building and a generator in front of every building so that it can keep power when the power goes out. So all of the mobile development has come from entrepreneurs, companies coming in. There's some companies that come in like I believe one of the big operators started in South Africa. There's some Indian companies, and the Chinese come in, and it's a big market. Everybody knows the potential, but it's a little bit confused at the moment because of the politics.
But how is the data connectivity? Is it mainly local Wi-Fi or X, 2G, 3G?
You have local Wi-Fi in a place like CC Hub. You don't have it in the local coffee shop usually. You might have it at home if you have internet there, but the connection tends to be pretty low bandwidth and spotty. So it's not just the local connection, but the whole backhaul infrastructure is a bit overloaded. They did add undersea fiber, which circumnavigates Africa and touches ground in a number of places. And that's made a huge difference in terms of developing the internet infrastructure there. But I don't actually know exactly how good the mobile data connectivity is. As you're building an application, mobile web, for example, is not a practical thing that you would want to design around for this market. Not for this particular market anyway. I suppose in India it's much more developed and much more likely to function well. But if you leave the city, I wouldn't expect to have mobile data. So you may want to use SMS push to send the data around in small chunks. And SMS tends to work quite well. And you can do it directly peer-to-peer with Series 40. Yes?
So, like for the education and stuff, are most of these people, do they self-teach themselves in terms of programming and that kind of stuff? Or do they learn in college? I'm not really sure. I'm just kind of curious how that education.
Some of them have studied in the UK and other places. Some of them have been self-taught. So I think self-taught is more likely.
Yeah.
There are local schools that will teach you this and that, but I'm not sure to what level. So just like anywhere, the really good guys learn it because they love it and they teach themselves. I'm going to start handing out the goodies to get you guys talking. Let's see.
How is the situation around Nigeria, around Africa? Is Nigeria a lot more advanced than the countries around it?
Well, if you go south, it's worse. If you go north, it's better. In that particular coast, Ghana is supposed to be one of the stable, very nice places that I hope to get invited to go to. Sierra Leone to the south, where I was born, is like it was when I was born, gunfire in the streets type of place. There's not active gunfire at the moment, but it's pretty much destroyed. So if I can separate these out.
No,
There you go. Oh, you know some Finnish. Very nice. Thank you.
A lot of times.
Okay. And I think I have to take my wire off. Yeah. Wireless. See me go. Yeah. Any more questions or concerns? Ideas?
Just about that.
Yes.
I don't know if I missed at the beginning, but CC Hub, is that something that was started in Nigeria?
Yes, it's local to Lagos only.
Okay. Do they have plans on expansion within Nigeria, or is it
With the Nokia Growth Academy, we hope to find similar partners elsewhere. But Teemu Kijärvi, who started that inside of Nokia, has been working in Africa for about 7 years. And this is perhaps the best filter for getting really good guys and good content in.